Welcome to the first episode of our Boardwalk Lingo series. Today we're focusing on signage, which we refer to as layout here at Boardwalk. In this video, we'll explore the ins and outs of our unique signage system, breaking down the terminology and best practices that make it work so well. Hi, I'm your host. Today we'll look at layout, which are the pencil marks on the side or top of a plate. The marks we are going to look at today are marks that guide the placement of studs and doors, whether they're 2x6 or a 2x4 wall. The start of any wall is the studs, which run from the single top plate down to the bottom plate. Studs are marked on the plate with a single line. If more than one stud is needed in a specific spot, you'll see a line with a number of X's on either side, indicating how many studs are required. In some cases, you'll see a plate marked with an X between two lines that are either 5.5 inches or 3.5 inches apart. This indicates a break in the double top plate where two walls slot into each other. For the example shown here, this means there's a break in the double top plate with a stud on the left side of the break. The X indicates where a stud should be placed on that side, whereas a line would suggest centering the stud on the mark. The next important part of a wall is the door framing. For doors, there are usually 3 to 4 main components. In this example, we have the king stud, which runs from the bottom plate up to the top plate. Next to the king stud is the trimmer. The trimmer supports the door by transferring the load from the header to the floor, adding strength to the door frame. Since this is a bearing wall, there will be a header in this. This is a larger piece of lumber, ranging from 2x6 to glue lam, that provides support and rigidity to the space below the header. Finally, there's the seal, which frames the door and adjusts based on its size. Along with the seal, we have the cripples, cut pieces that support the seal and vary in size depending on the door height, but they don't reach all the way to the ground. Together, these elements make sure the door frame is sturdy and well supported. When looking at the marks for a door, you'll see 3 lines that are each 1.5 inches apart. One of these lines will have an X, and another will have a T inside it. X, like with a stud, indicates that it goes up to the top. The T signifies a trimmer. You won't always know if a header is needed just by looking at the marks. It should be written down on the plate showing the number of boards and the size of the header. In this example, it's noted as 3 2x8s. Lastly, a line with a C indicates a cripple, which is a cut piece that supports the framing but doesn't extend all the way to the ground. The last marking you'll see is an X with a line next to it, which stands for what we call a cali, though I'm not sure where the name comes from. A cali is made of 2 studs nailed together along one edge. It creates a solid attachment point for another wall and is usually found at the end of a wall. In this case, the cali is in the middle of a wall, serving as a frame for a tub insert. When a cali is not at the end of a wall, it's marked with an X next to a vertical line followed by a horizontal line. The vertical line shows where the seam of the 2 nailed together boards would be. If the cali is at the end of a wall, it's marked with just an X and a horizontal line. Now you know the marks we use at Boardwalk to build our walls. It might not seem like a lot, but things can get confusing at times. So let's take a look at a special case. This wall here shows a door, and at first glance it looks like there should be 2 studs at the end. But in this case, it's actually a cutout for the double top plate. There are just some things that you can't fully convey with marks alone. You need to write them down. Like what they say about the cat, there's no single way to frame a wall. This is just the way we do it at Boardwalk.